Cod, fillet it up!
Here's our fish for the paella. If you haven't guessed by now, we are in historic Pike Place Market in Seattle, Washington. We're here to pick up some fresh seafood for our paella and also to sample some legendary and iconic eats. Now on to our Pike Place Pit Cooked Paella. But please like and subscribe if you enjoy what we do. First, we got some whole squid right here. Whole baby squid. We got some squid bodies. We got some mussels. We got some manila clams. And we got some Ling Cod. Nice. And we got more shell on shrimp. That's a beautiful scene right there. All from Pike Place Market here in Seattle. Okay, let's make a simple shrimp stock. We just take the shrimp that we bought that have the heads on and the shells, and the heads provide additional flavor to a stock because there's a lot of fat in the heads. So we just take the heads and the shells off. We get ourselves a saute pan, and then we saute up the shells and the heads to help extract some additional flavor. And then we just take a basic seafood stock that we purchased at the local grocery store. We heat it up, and that's going to be our base. And then we just dump some of that into the shells that were sauteed just to get all the loose bits and pieces that are in the pan collected. And then we just take the shells and that liquid and put it back into the pot. You let that simmer for about an hour, and you've got yourself a nice shrimp stock. And the next fun part is cleaning the squid. So we did buy two types of squid. We bought small baby squid, which we're cleaning here, and then we bought some pre-cleaned squid bodies and tentacles. So for the squid that we're cleaning up here, you take the head off, and then you cut the tentacles right in front of the eyes, and then you take the body and you extract the innards from the body. And the one thing you have to make sure you get is that vertebrae, as you see right there, out of the body. And then at that point, you can cut the tube into its pieces, and you're ready to go. Then we take our chicken thighs and we season them with the smoked sweet paprika. And the supporting cast of sweet smoked paprika, green peas, sofrito, seafood stock, chicken thighs, basil, and anchovies, along with the Bomba Rice and the golden saffron. And now on to some live action. Let's get cooking. We're going to cook our paella today on a outdoor fire pit. We've taken the dome lid and we've we just covered it in foil, and this will act as the warmer as well as to provide a container for smoke. We've got our 20-inch paella pan seasoned. The handles are protected by the aluminum. Got the fire pit grate. We've got some beautiful looking hardwood. And then we also got some, looks like some cherry and cedar kindling. So we built a nice strong fire. And one thing to keep in mind is that when we put the paella pan on the fire, there are going to be some hot spots because it is a live fire. So we basically take the paella pan and we move it around as needed based upon how we see the oil and the food either sizzling from sauteing or bubbling during the cooking of the rice process. And the shrimp will go in right at the end. We're going to cook them Once we get the head-on shrimp seared and completely cooked, as you can see, we're moving the pan there because we're noticing there's some sauteing and sizzling going on in one spot but not in the other. And then we take the cooked shrimp with the heads on and we remove them from the pan and set them aside.
I'm safe.
We put a little more oil in the pan at this point, and then we sear our chicken skin side down. Again, constantly monitoring the fire as well as any hot spots on the paella pan. And we add a little bit of chicken fat in for some additional flavor. Once we remove the chicken, we put some more fresh oil in the pan. We saute up our onions, our garlic, our red pepper, and then we add the oil from the anchovy can. Give it a little bit of a stir.
The sofrito.
And then at that point, we add in our sofrito. We stir that around, making sure everything is getting cooked evenly. And then we put in 3 anchovy fillets.
Keep it open. Okay. Spoon.
Since this is a seafood paella, the anchovies will go perfect in there. Then we add our sweet smoked paprika. And we give everything a good stir to make sure, again, everything is cooking evenly. Nothing is burning, and everything is sauteing just right.
Oh man, it smells. Now. Oh my, yeah. Alright, what's next? The Bomba Rice.
Next step, we take the Bomba Rice. And we put the rice in, and the goal here is to just saute it a little bit, to give it a little bit of caramelization, to help it mix in with the sofrito and the vegetables that are in the pan with the paprika.
Rice.
And then once it gets to be about this color, we are ready to add in our homemade shrimp stock. And you want to make sure that you add enough stock in the pan so that it completely covers the rice by at least a ½ inch.
Just in case we need it.
At this point, we're just going to stir it a little bit, just to make sure everything is evenly spread. We add our saffron.
Yeah, that gumbo.
We give the dish one more final stir. And at that point, we no longer stir the rice because the goal is to get the bomba rice to actually form what's called a socorat. It's basically a char that adds additional flavor to a traditional Spanish paella. At that point, we put our chicken thighs back in, skin side up, so as to not ruin the nice sear that we made on the skin. All right, we cover it up, bring the dish back to a boil, and look how beautiful that's looking right now. Look at that deep, rich color. And one of the things, again, since this is a live fire, we notice that the fire has been going out and it's not going to be strong enough to finish the dish. So we remove the paella pan, we add some more big logs and some kindling, get the fire back up to where we need it so that it can go long enough to finish the paella. And at that point, we just replace the rack and we stick the paella pan back on and continue our cooking.
Oh, that's right. Big spender over there.
We cover the paella back up so that we can get it back to a boil. And then once we get it back to a boil and the liquid is reduced by about half, we start adding in our seafood. We take the mussels first and we place them in with their mouths up so that once they open, the presentation is beautiful. And at the same time, we also place in our manila clams as well. There is liquid in the mussels and in the clams that's going to add to the dish. And then we take our prepared squid, we put that in next, and you can see we got a nice boil going there. Then after that, we add in our shrimp that we peeled. And again, scatter it around so that it's evenly distributed. And keep moving the pan, and as you can see, we have a very nice boil going all around. So we got a pretty even cook here. Take our fresh rosemary sprig. If you've got other herbs in the garden, put those in as well.
So now the key is the socorat.
And then the last thing to go in is our Ling Cod. Again, any firm fish will work. The Ling Cod was fantastic in this dish.
Yep. That is apparently, like it, I know, well, it doesn't seem like it, but
if you look closely, you can actually see some of the seafood cooking. You can see some of the shells opening up. You can see some of the squid and shrimp kind of curling a little bit from the heat. Make sure the rosemary is submerged and any seafood that is sitting on top is at least partially in the liquid. And after about another 10 minutes, we top the paella with our frozen green peas. We put the lid back on and we let it bubble and smoke away. And as you can see, just about all the liquid is absorbed. And this is when you know you're getting close. Again, we move the pan as needed based upon the heat. Wow. That is looking really good right now. We put the head-on shrimp that we cooked earlier on top in a nice even pattern. And this is not just for eating, but also for a very nice visual when the paella is presented at the table. Paella is known as a community dish. You eat right out of the pan. So presentation is very important. And there is still some liquid there. And once that liquid is evaporated, we're going to do a little check to see if the socorat is forming. Now it's just a matter of timing, making sure all of the seafood is cooked.
I was saying.
Still a strong fire going. Little to no liquid.
It's all about the rice, Max.
Seen.
It's all about the rice.
Now we're checking to see if the socorat is forming. And we're just about there. And now it's time. There it is, no more liquid. Everything's cooked, the socorat is formed. It's time to serve.
Pike Place Paella. Oh. Oh, yeah, this is it. Right there, the socorat. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Bomba Rice.
All right, successful fire pit cooked Pike Place Paella.
Delicious.
Amazing. It's okay.